We're going to stay on the air for as long as possible. All we can say is what we've been repeating all morning. Get to any kind of underground shelter. This Valentine's Day special is brought to you by Pfizer and the global elite.
What's up, guys? Your boy Benny. Have you ever heard of a PSYOP? If I was doing this program just like a few years ago, most of the viewers would probably say, no, what, huh? But now, it's common nomenclature, like a psychological operation in order to influence the American public and in order to probably do something particularly malevolent or evil to all of us. That's what a PSYOP is. PSYOPs have been going on for a very long time. PSYOPs were first exposed in the 1970s during the church conference meetings, where the Senate was asking questions of the intel agencies about the psychological operations they were running on Americans, and you had this entire program exposed called CONTELPRO, getting too far down the rabbit hole here, but where there were literal reporters of all the major news agencies that were effectively printing and typing, being stenographers for our intel agencies, lying to the American public in order to maintain fake narratives. So this is what goes on. This is real. This happens day in and day out. And so it is through that lens that I wish to report a breaking story that everyone is talking about right now about some type of imminent threat to the country. We're going to break all this down. We're going to do it in a way that I think is hopefully responsible as it pertains to how much your government lies to you. However, there are useful morons and simps for the superstate inside of the Republican Party, and they are in charge of like big-time committees right now. One of them's name is Mike Turner. Mike Turner is just one of those guys that you could just really never trust, right? In a fight, Mike Turner wouldn't have your back. Mike Turner is a guy who has never actually been strong on any issue that the base cares about, and has only ever been sort of a agitator from inside of the Republican Party for the interests of the superstate. Not necessarily for the interests of the Democratic Party, but for the interests of the defense contractors and the permanent police state that is in charge, the oligarchy. And so Mike Turner, one of the dutiful soldiers of the oligarchy, had issued a very, very strange statement seconds ago. House Intel Chair Mike Turner says U.S. faces a serious national security threat and requests Biden declassify all information relating to it. The hell is this about? House Intelligence Committee, let's read the actual statement. House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence Chairman Mike Turner issued the following statement. Today, the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence has made available to all members of Congress information concerning a serious national security threat. I am requesting that President Biden declassify all information relating to this threat so Congress, the administration, and our allies can openly discuss the actions necessary to respond to the threat. Well, what the hell is this? I can think of a bunch of threats to our nation, the collapsing value of our currency, our open border and the terror cells that walk right across it, the wars that Joe Biden has started. When Donald Trump ushered in an era of peace around the world, Joe Biden has just gone and started a bunch of new wars. I can think of those as major threats. Here's the actual original statement. It is from the House Intelligence Committee. It is official. It has the little silver badge there for government officials. Statement from Chairman Mike Turner. So what the hell is this all about? And here I thought letting 10 million unvetted illegals across our southern border was going to make us more secure. Shucks. The House has the power to declassify any information in its possession. You don't need to ask Biden or the Senate. Just do it. This is a political stunt. Is this about the dementia-ridden criminal Joe Biden's illegal alien invasion and occupation of America? So they're getting like ratioed here, actually, by Republicans. It's leading to headlines like this. Biden urged to declassify details of serious national security threat in very cryptic warning by top Republican Mike Turner that could be related to Russia. Well, there you go. Apparently, according to CNN, of course, according to CNN, the dutiful mockingbirds and stenographers of the intel agencies, this is a Russian capability. Oh boy, what could it possibly be? Russia already has a nuclear weapon arsenal that could wipe out the entire world like 20,000 times over. They have more nuclear weapons than America has. So what exactly are they doing that could be so concerning and destabilizing, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead and have a watch for what is being reported right now about Russia's new capacity. That's so scary.
Puzzling is happening on Capitol Hill right now. House Intelligence Committee Chairman Mike Turner says he's informed Congress of a, quote, serious national security threat and is now calling on President Biden to declassify that intelligence to the American people. Our chat program is live on Capitol Hill now with the breaking details. And chat, lawmakers routinely get national security briefings. So this time, though, it sounds like something's different.
Yeah, something popped up on the House Intelligence Committee schedule for tomorrow night where they were going to meet to present this document to the entire House so all members could look at this. This dealt with a national security threat. I started to dial into this a couple of days ago, and I asked, what is this all about? What does this mean? Is it a threat to the House? Is it something from a foreign government? And the members who I talked to, it was as though they had seen a ghost. A lot of times when you talk to members who deal with intelligence matters, they will play their cards close to the vest. But these members did not want to talk about this at all and said they could not talk about this.
Okay. Let me take that at face value. And let's take this all at face value. The timing of this is really interesting. And the fact that it has to do with Russia, isn't that fascinating? I don't know, guys. You call Wolf, the little boy who cries wolf too many times, eventually gets eaten by the wolf. Maybe this is real. Maybe it's not. But Russia, that bell is starting to ring a little hollow, okay, for most Americans. Richard Grenell, who was the director of national intelligence, so like a obviously deeply sophisticated and smart individual for Donald Trump, says the timing of this generic public announcement is very suspect. A chairman can privately call the DNI, a position that Richard Grenell held, that's called Director of National Intelligence, or the president and push for a public statement or a warning. You don't need this general public statement. It raises more questions than answers. So Richard Grenell saying this, this smells wrong. I'm going to call bullshit on this. And Matt Walsh actually does call bullshit on this. Wow, amazing. A day after the Senate passed a massively unpopular $100 billion foreign aid package with billions for Ukraine, and a week after Putin gave one of the most widely viewed interviews of all time to Tucker Carlson, there is now a serious national security threat related to Russia. That's my stance on this. I want to be full out. Now, my official stance is this seems highly suspicious. The timing seems the timing is literally 24 hours after the Senate just shoved through at the behest, at the screaming of like most of the Republicans, but with like 20 backstabbing, betraying, braying donkey Republicans who are scum of the earth, all of them dead to me, every single one of them, banned from the show. Those guys like got through this unbelievably unpopular aid package. And then, well, wouldn't you know it, the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, comes out and says, we're not going to vote on this. It's dead. It's dead. The House ain't voting on it. I am in charge of what comes to the floor, and this isn't going to happen. And lo and behold, the day he says that, which was this morning, suddenly we get this urgent security threat. House Intel Chair Turner, today the House Permanent Select Committee made available to all members of Congress information concerning a serious national security threat. So all these members of Congress can come in and see this, and Joe Biden declassify all the information relating to the threat. The national security threat is the open border. Yes, correct. Glad Biden president, when we have to deal with a major national security threat, makes me feel safe that an old demented man with memory problems has his finger on the trigger. Ladies and gentlemen, it wasn't pretty at the White House. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan was out to take questions. Again, a thing that seems premeditated, right? Why would Jake Sullivan be ready to go? This is also the Russian collusion hoaxer, Jake Sullivan. This is the guy who's legitimately behind the scam in Ukraine, the Russian collusion hoax. This guy's an absolute flipping liar. And so it's something that you should take with a grain of salt. But maybe he's acting here, but he doesn't seem happy. He seems rattled as I watched the briefing. What do you think?
Intelligence chair speaking out about a imminent, or he doesn't say imminent, serious national security threat, the lack of your ability to say anything has the potential to raise distress for some Americans. In the simplest of terms, can you tell Americans that there's nothing they have to worry about right now in terms of what he describes as a national security threat?
Look, I think in a way that question is impossible to answer with a straight yes, right? Because Americans understand that there are a range of threats and challenges in the world that we're dealing with every single day. And those threats and challenges range from terrorism to state actors. And we have to contend with them, and we have to contend with them in a way where we ensure the ultimate security of the American people. I am confident that President Biden, in the decisions that he is taking, is going to ensure the security of the American people going forward. And I will stand here at this podium and assert that, look you in the eye with confidence that.
So it's never a great thing when, like, the guy who's lied his entire career, like, stares off into the middle distance. Look at that. It continued to happen, by the way.
Is there anything you can say to characterize what this threat is or what country it involves? I mean, should the public be alarmed at this point since he has said this publicly?
I'm not in a position to say anything further today. Like I said, I look forward to the discussion with him, and obviously from there we will determine how to proceed. But standing here at the podium today, I can't share anything.
Turner calls this an urgent matter with regard to a destabilizing foreign military
This one's really bad. Listen to this.
capability. Are you aware that there is an emerging serious threat here that he's referring to?
Again, I'll just say that I personally reached out to the Gang of Eight. It is highly unusual, in fact, for the National Security Advisor to do that. I did that to set up a meeting. The Senate's not here. The 4 House members have agreed to that meeting. This is well before Congressman Turner came out today. We'll have that conversation tomorrow. I'm not going to say anything
But do you
further
believe
today.
that this is about the same thing? When you set up that meeting to reach out to them, were you intending to discuss this matter?
Well, I'll leave it to you to draw whatever connections you want. All I can say is I reached out to see Turner. Turner's gone out publicly. I'm going to go see Turner tomorrow. That's where I want to leave things for today. Yeah.
So, like, like what's strange about this is he doesn't seem happy. Again, maybe it's all an act. This guy's a known liar. Maybe it's just all a giant act. But he doesn't seem pleased with this. He seems like quite pissed. I watch all these press briefings. He seems very rattled today and was very upset, actually, about what's going on here. From inside of the House, Iran is moving towards nuclear weapons, and its administration is helping fund it directly. I tried to find out how and why. Tim Burchett, one of our favorites, saying that this might be a nuclear weapon issue. From Donald Trump's official MAGA war room, an open borders, obviously, massive arrest. These are the people who beat up the cop in New York. So, like, open borders, are they terrorists? Well, they're causing terror, right? When they're marauding through the streets of New York as organized criminal gangs, robbing people and dragging them behind their mopeds, beating up cops. Yeah, absolutely. That's creating terror. But there are also known terrorists that have come into this country. So what's that about? We don't know. Could it have something to do with this? We're not sure. I thought that this was like all just a joke to get the House to force the House into passing this resolution. And then I saw Jake Sullivan there, and he seemed rattled and really angry about it all. So it just gave me pause. It made me think, all right, well, what the F is going on? We're going to keep reaching out to sources in Congress. Apparently members of Congress can go see this document. We're going to keep reaching out to sources and try and figure out what's in it. Okay? But I'll give you this final takeaway. Massive, giant, granular, salty sprinkles of skepticism on all of this, right? Our intel agencies lie to us. They lie at perfect times to try and scare or manipulate or to psychologically operate the American public into giving them what they want. And this has all the hallmarks of that kind of an operation. So I guess we wait and see. It's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe. Stay tuned. We'll stay on top of this, you know? We'll see. See ya.